right? So if there is someone who's ready with the responses, please share. Siddesh, can you share what you've written? I'm not sure if a monologue is something that would serve any purpose in a session like this. Please participate. What are some of the situations? You could just think of them. What are the situations in which you would need to put your writing skills to use in the workplace? Yes? Is there no one in the session who can answer this question for us?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, for example, if we have to write an email to someone in the workplace,
Hmm.
like an example, like you mentioned, that if we have to submit a report or something,
Yes. Okay.
and the
That's
first and
one.
foremost, first is when we have to send a resume or and things like that in order to
Hmm.
get recruited. That's
Hmm.
like the very first step.
Hmm.
And
What
these
would
three
be some
things.
of the situations, Usman? Let's say you've already got the job. Why would somebody want you to write? What are some of the things they would want you to write?
I mean, maybe we will have to contact a client. We will have to write an email to the client or something like that, or
Yes.
prepare a report.
Very
Maybe
good.
maybe we are offering a service and we have to mention to them how we can be working with
Absolutely.
us can be useful to someone.
Right. Right. And of all these things, if you are the person who is supposed to write, don't you think the decision of yes or no will depend on how well you write this? Do you get this? The importance of how well you write. If you have drafted it nicely, if you have written a very convincing kind of a mail about your product, if you have given a lot of important evidence that what you are trying to share with the client is a good product, that's going to make a big difference. So, your writing skills will make you an important employee for the organization. That's why it's important for us, to brush up our writing skills. So I hope that some of these points will appeal. First of all, writing skills ensure effective business communication. They make the difference between a good or bad employee. You can well imagine, there are so many employees in the organization. There is so much of drafting being done, so many emails being sent out. People do not want spelling mistakes, errors. The bosses will not be happy if they have to keep on editing your work, right? So, if you take well drafted, error free written documents, that's going to make you a good employee for them. It helps you to demonstrate your competence. If you're using the right words in the right place, for example, then you can be more influential. Let's say if you get a couple of deals for the company that you're working with, it demonstrates that you have the ability to influence. Your communication skills, your written skills are that good. So there are so many different other aspects of this. It will help you to become a more confident person. It will help your professional confidence to be built up. Okay. I really don't know why you don't participate. Batch 3, please participate. I've shown you 4 pictures on the screen, and I want each one of you to write down 3 sentences to describe each picture. And we'll talk about the sentences you write. Okay? Yes. All right. I would like someone to talk about the first picture, which is this old man. How have you written the sentences? Yes? Can someone describe this picture for us? What have you written? 3 sentences?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, Shubham.
The picture seems of an very old man who is, I think, from rural village, is rural area,
Hmm.
and he's very old, and he's means it is seems that he has worked very hard throughout the night, so he has very pale body, and also still he is smiling. So he has a
Okay.
very innocent smile.
Thank you so much, Shubham. And I think, your observations are really interesting. But what did I say? I said write 3 sentences to describe each picture. So just use three pictures, 3 sentences, and avoid saying means. Or if you've written that, now just come back again. Talk to us about it. 3 sentences only.
Okay.
Ma'am, hello.
Yes, Amir.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, it can be, ma'am, happiness in misery,
Okay. Yes.
the real happiness.
Hmm. Okay. See, what is happening is when I'm saying write 3 sentences to describe the picture, just to even write 3 sentences is taking so much effort. Why? Tell me. I'm showing you a picture and I'm asking you to write down 3 sentences to describe this picture. Where's the gap? Yes? Amir?
Yes, ma'am.
Now give me just 3 sentences only. Like 1, 2, 3. Hmm. No? Okay, choose any other picture if you want to talk about it. Any other picture. Why aren't you people participating? Please tell me.
Ma'am, can I try?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes.
These
So, ma'am,
sessions are not for me to come here and give you lectures. These are for you to
yes,
come and explore and understand your own skill set. Please go ahead.
ma'am. So, picture one, I have written 3 sentences. Happiness is a
Yes.
state of mind. Age is just a number. Be thankful for your life. Picture two,
Wow. Hmm.
sisters are blessings. Enjoy your childhood as much as possible. Third one is
Hmm.
be happy. Picture three, victory always comes to the ones who always tries hard. Picture second point, representation of dedication. Sportsmanship spirit lies in the young generation. Picture four, best mind resides in the children. Young age always explore more. Third point, Junior Albert Einstein.
Wonderful. Satyam, congratulations. Please give him a round of applause. Great. So, see, this is so much more fun if you come with your inputs. And I think brilliant what you've spoken about these is so um, not only just describing, it's very apt, all the things you said. So I'm very impressed, and it's a good job you did. What happened is when you made those sentences, for example, let's talk about the picture of the little Einstein. What was the first sentence?
Ma'am,
Yes?
best mind resides in children.
Okay. And let me say this at the outset, I'm going to give feedback during this session. So if there is something that you have said and is incorrect, and I tell you the correct version, please try to understand this is for all of us to improve. I may not always be right, but I will try and do that. Just repeat that sentence again.
Ma'am, first one is best minds resides in children.
Okay,
And
stop. You said best minds, right? Till that place, it's good. Best minds resides in children. Can anyone tell us what is wrong with this sentence? Or maybe Satyam, when you look at it again, is there something wrong with this sentence?
ma'am,
I
maybe the
should
grammar.
Reside, I think.
Yes, correct. So what happens is, if you send in something with an error like this, the boss has to sit and correct it and then send it back to you, and then you have to send it back. Time wasted, and then your image in the mind of the employer gets hurt when you write something incorrect. And the fun thing is that you know what the correct version is. Do you get the point? What about the sports person? What did you write about the sports person?
Yes, ma'am. So victory always comes to the ones who always tries hard.
Okay. Now, is there something wrong with this sentence? Victory always
Comes to the
comes.
ones. Yes, ma'am.
Correct it. Tell us the correct version. Can you make a more crisp sentence, Satyam?
Yes, ma'am, I can try.
Please try.
Those who always those people who always try their best, the victory, moreover the victory, uh, I mean, it can be like those who always tries hard, they get victory at some point of time. Or I mean,
Very good.
they should always try
Right. Now, what is
like
happening
this.
is there are so many different ways in which the same thing can be said. This is quite clear from what Satyam has shared with us. There are many different ways of writing the same thing. Victory comes to those who try. Is this also one sentence? Can we make it as concise as victory comes to those who try? Would that be right? Are you getting the point? So, what we need to do when we are talking about writing skills is we need to practice so much that when we write, the best version of what can be written comes to our minds. That will only come with practice. And I'm giving you an opportunity, batch 3, to practice during these sessions. And I really hope that at least some of you are going to benefit from that. Uh, Anybody else wants to share their responses, and we'll see if that is the best sentence that they could have written. Is there someone else who wants to try? No? All right. So the CEO of iFixit, an online repair manual company, wrote in the Harvard Business Review article, if job hopefuls can't distinguish between two and two, their applications go into the bin. This is a very strong case for why this session will help you to get sorted out in terms of your communication skills, especially written communication. So, this is the kind of error which employers don't like because it reflects poorly on how meticulous you are when it comes to the words you are using on paper. I just want you to take a good look at this. And I want you to write down what is wrong with these and share that back. What is wrong with bad grammar? Don't go there. What is wrong with this?
There.
Spelling of there.
Okay. And because the spelling of there is wrong, does it make any sense?
Yes, ma'am.
That sentence has become meaningless, right? What about the second one? Let's eat kids. What's wrong with this?
Comma.
The comma.
Right. And what happened just because of that one misplaced comma? Can someone read it out?
L-
Yes.
Let's hit kids.
Right. So let's eat kids. If you don't put the comma there, the meaning of this sentence is something completely out of sync. So
Going to
let's,
harm kids, ma'am.
right. So let's eat kids. If you don't put the comma there, someone who reads it will read it in a certain way. Thank you. Glad that you're participating. So now what about the next one? We are going to learn to cut and paste kids. What's wrong with this?
Again, comma is missing.
Again,
So
comma.
correct. Tell me the correct version.
We are going to learn to cut and paste, comma kids.
Correct. Right? So see how much power that one single comma has. If you don't put it in the right place, completely wrong. Okay. What about exams in progress? What is wrong with this?
Ma'am, the spelling of quiet.
Yes. So this is why spellings are very important. One wrong spelling can completely change the context. What about, are you sure you want to? Can you see this at the bottom of the slide?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
is wrong
Are
with
you
this?
sure you want to exist? Exist
That is
is
It should be
completely.
exit,
That is
ma'am.
completely
Yeah.
asking,
So, and
are
I
you
can
alive
see
or
so
not?
many people, they're exiting this meeting. I don't know why really. Are you sure you want to exit? Okay. Next is this one, I think should be of great importance to all of you. If you don't put the semicolon in the right place and you are saying this to somebody, what is the meaning? Read. Go ahead.
I am
What
sorry
is
that I love you. The first
right?
sentence will be yes.
Right. And what would the second one mean?
He is apologizing first and then he's saying that I love you.
So now you understand that if you are writing a letter of apology to somebody and you forget the semicolon, you can imagine what's going to happen next. And then this comes from employers. For everyone who's tuned in, we'd love to hire you, but your spelling mistakes and poor grammar show you're not as detail oriented as you claim. Why do we need to focus on the grammar and on our writing skills? Because they are a reflection of us. When you write even 5 sentences, when you write them, for example, I think Satyam wrote a very meaningful sentences about those pictures, way beyond what is just visible on the surface. So we'd love to hire you, but your spelling mistakes and poor grammar show you're not as detail oriented. Please understand that your writing is a reflection of you. So when you are writing, make sure that the best possible sentences are being framed, most concise, no spelling mistakes, no errors in punctuation marks. And I'm trying to cover as much as possible during these 2 sessions, but you've studied English grammar since you were in school, so I don't think this should be very difficult for us. Okay. I want you to tell me what this means. And what is wrong with this? The first one, bad grammar.
Ma'am, they preserve our English language. There should be R, ma'am. O-U-R.
Correct. Okay. Then what else is wrong?
Spelling of weather, ma'am. Should be WHETHER.
It should be
Okay.
whether you are being lazy or not. It should
Great.
it should go.
Yes. Thank you. And there
Spelling
is
of
another
The
one
lose.
that you're
spelling
missing
of
out.
there is also wrong. It should be there. T-H-E-R-E.
Correct. What else?
Spelling of
This,
lose.
yeah, who's that?
Kritika.
Kritika. Yes, that's right. I lose all
There will be
respect for
only
people.
one O.
Absolutely correct. So preserve our English language. That's one error. Then I lose all respect. That's another one. Who use bad grammar?
Ma'am, also
Whether,
whether W, capital W is required.
yes. So uh, again, there, like we already heard, is no real.
It's not too much to ask, ma'am. Spelling of
Yes. Yes, correct. Now understand, whoever said this, I'm really glad that you noticed. When you are going to look at documents in your workplace, how quickly you are able to make make out where the mistakes are, how quickly you can evaluate, how quickly you can correct any mistakes that you've got in your draft. This depends on how well you focus. Like just now, good grammar, it's not too much to ask. There are two twos, but they both mean different things. So the next one is, yes, English is a difficult language. It can be understood through tough, thorough thought too. Does this entire thing make sense or not?
No, ma'am. The
Okay.
words need to be, position of the words need to be changed. English is a difficult language. It can be understood through thorough thought. Though it can be understood through thorough thought. And a comma after the language, I think it will be a continuous sentence.
Okay. Anyone else? What about this? It's not too hard to teach proper grammar if you're willing to learn.
Ma'am,
What's
spelling
wrong
of
with
two in
this?
three places. Ma'am, it's not T-double-O hard to. Yeah, it should be T-O, and in the end it should be, instead of
It
T-W-O,
should
it
be,
should be
ma'am,
T-O.
if you are willing to learn, not you're willing to.
Yes. So, basically the thing is, you have all been through grammar lessons in school, but what happens is gradually when we start speaking, we are not really focusing so much on the words, the spellings. We're just speaking, and as long as we are understood, we think that this is good going. When you're writing, what happens is everything that you write is going to stay there. This person can read your email. He sees 5 mistakes the first time round. If he reads it again, he sees 2 more mistakes and he says, okay, I don't want this person in my office. Right? So the different reasons that you're going to have to use business communication, just look at how many things will be requiring written communication skills: emails, letters, reports, company brochures, presentation slides, case studies, sales materials, visual aids, social media updates, and all kinds of other business documentation. Just about every work that you do is going to have a written parallel, and that parallel is going to reflect your understanding of whatever the task was that you did. For example, if you're writing a report about something, you don't need to tell long stories. What is the content that you should be focusing on? Right? We'll talk about that also during this session. So when English teachers snap, I thought this was amusing.
Hello, grammarians. Hello, Paige.
Hi, David.
So,
Okay, so we're going to look at a few videos. Just bear with me. This is like kind of a revision for us so that when we start writing the emails and the reports, these concepts are quite clear for us. All right.
hello, grammarians. Hello, Paige.
Hi, David.
So, today we're going to tackle this idea of what is a sentence. Yeah, as we go into
Also, there's another reason in case some of you have this question in mind. I'm using these videos because they will also help you to understand how to pronounce correctly and how these words are supposed to be said correctly.
this realm of language that is called syntax. And syntax is this concept of basically grammatical order. What this word syntaxis literally means in Greek is putting together and arranging, right? So it just means ordering of language.
So that's like what a sentence is.
That's what a sentence is. That's what a sentence is. It's what the components of a sentence are. And we'll go into all of that in much greater detail. But in order to do that, first of all, we have to figure out what a sentence actually is. So the definition that you and I came up with, Paige, is that a sentence is a grammatically complete idea.
Right. It's a bunch of words that say one complete thing.
So all sentences have a noun or pronoun component,
Mhm.
right? And that's what we call the subject. And then we have the verb part, which is the predicate.
So a sentence has to have like a thing or a noun or a pronoun.
Sure, that's the subject.
Yeah, and something that it's doing.
Sure, that's the predicate.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we've got this sentence. The great big dog licked my face. Here is our sentence. What is the subject?
Subject is the great big dog.
All right. And that means that everything that's not the subject is part of the predicate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So licked my face is...
So tell me, how many of you are quite familiar with this? Do we really need to go into this, or should I get on to the business communication part? Can you give me a show of hands or something? Or maybe write in the chat box, perhaps. Yes? Should we skip this part? Is this a thumbs up for skipping, Nidhi? All right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. I thought
Hello,
so.
grammarians. Hello, grammarians. Hello, Rosie.
So what I'm
Hello,
going
David.
to do is
So, okay.
I'm going to share these videos in the WhatsApp group for all those who are interested in watching. They can go ahead and watch. Phrases and clauses. People are, I think, familiar with this. I think I'll just talk.
Hello,
share this one.
grammarians.
This
Hello,
is-
Paige.
Hi, David.
Is that we're going to talk about today.
All right.
Here are their three flavors. Flavor number one, declarative sentences. Flavor number two, interrogative sentences. And flavor number three, imperative sentences. Hello, grammarians. Hello.
All right. So what I'm doing is I'm skipping these because what I want to focus on is how you're going to write your applications, how you're going to write your emails. This part I will share, and probably that will work better for us. Is that okay? Yes? Yeah, great.
Sentence structures. There are three.
It's a part of your syllabus, so I will just rush through this quickly. 4 types of sentences: narrative sentences, which tell something. These end with a full stop period, that is. Interrogative sentences, they ask a question, like the word itself clarifies. Exclamatory sentences show feelings. Imperative sentences give a command. So that's how there are 4 types. And every sentence ends with either a question mark or a period or an exclamation point, right? So, so the basic parts of a sentence: a subject, verb, prepositional phrase, direct object, indirect object, predicate, nominative, predicate, adjective. So this is a lot of content which you're supposed to know. I'm sharing it here, and I will also give you the handouts later on. These are different patterns in which sentences can be formed. Like, when we initially started, if you remember, how you say the same thing. For example, she ran around the track. They talked. They talked is subject and verb. They talked to her parents. So this is like very basic, essentially quite basic. I'm not sure I want to do this right now. Is there someone who is interested in this, or should I move to the business communication part? Okay, I'm going to share the notes with you. Okay, this we can, I think, skip, or we'll go back to it if there's time. So what is business writing? Any communication used in professional settings, including emails, memos, and reports. It's a direct, clear, and designed to be read quickly. Instructional, informational, persuasive, transactional. I want you to think of what instructional would be, what informational would be, what persuasive would be, and what transactional would be. And tell me. Yes. If there is going to be a meeting, there is an email that goes out, that would be transactional. So business writing shares crucial information and keeps concerns of the audience in mind. So before you write anything, ask yourself these questions. All right. What do I need to say, and who is my audience? So what are essentially the basic 2 questions that we should ask before we have any kind of communication going? What do I need to say, and who's my audience? Before you start writing, for example, take a moment to understand exactly why you're writing. If there is no clarity in your mind about why you're writing, there is not going to be any clarity in what you write, right? So what do I need to say, and and what do I need to say is very important, because you can't write in an unlimited space. You have a limited space. Within that, you should be able to condense what is important. So try to understand why you're writing and who is the audience. This is essentially the 2 questions that you should have clarity about. Next thing is, what is your purpose? Why am I writing this? Right? So analyze your purpose, have absolute clarity. Is it necessary? Is it appropriate? Identify the purpose of why you're writing something. This is the next important thing. So basically, there are 3 steps when you write anything in business communication, particularly. So there is, the first stage is plan. So when you do this, I think this is the foundation of good writing, because first of all, you try to understand why I'm writing this, who is the audience. Second, gather information select the right delivery vehicle, and then organize the information. So this is your background pre-writing actually, basically. Then when you start writing, adapt to the audience, be polite, build credibility with the audience, and then compose the message, use good words, choose strong words that create effective sentences and coherent paragraphs. The structure has to be very good when you write. Next is go back and look at it once, revise it. Look at the message up. Once you've completed it, just go back again and revise the message, produce it, and then of course proofread. Make sure that you proofread whatever you are going to send. Do that several times before you sort of send it to somebody in the communication chain. So I'm going to ask some of you to share the format that you would use for writing an email expressing your inability to attend an important meeting. How would you write? What would be the subject and how would you write that? Yes.
Ma'am, first we will start with the line like this is regarding the meeting that been conducted yesterday, and I was not able to attend it. So I will apologize. I mean, I will write a sentence in such a way that it should be persuasive enough that okay, the condition was genuine, that I wasn't able to attend that because what would be the reason if I am not attending the meeting, or if it is a shareable, like if personal reasons are there, if they can be shareable, you can share that. But apart from that, if most urgent need like another thing that could have been happened, you can share that also. But I mostly I have seen like I have not I have not send any email for apologies, but I have seen some of the emails which have like some of the emails for personal, like I was not able to attend because of personal issues and all that. But are those, ma'am, sufficient to do that? Like, can we do that? Like, if like हम लिख रहे हैं any apology mail, then if we are saying that some personal issues were there, so can this be included?
Okay, that's very important. First of all, you need to understand that any email that you are sending needs to have a subject, right? That subject should bring attention to the fact that this following email refers to this particular specific topic. So what would you write there? That because you did not attend the meeting, we'll just come to that in a minute. Okay.
Apologies for the regarding meeting or dated meeting की date भी लिखनी पड़ेगी वहाँ पे, I think. And so this could be the subject.
Right. Okay. Then if you're writing your email about wanting to be on a particular project team, let's say, okay, that I would like to be part of this project, I would like to be on this team. How will you do this? What would be the content? What would you have to write? You would have to, establish your credibility and in writing this email, you have to make sure that you convey, I am a suitable person for this, my credentials are good, and I'm sharing the information. I have worked on a similar project earlier, etc. So this would help you to secure a position on that team. Okay. So the importance of writing skills is something that has risen to the forefront in today's workforce. In fact, a recent survey revealed that 44% of managers feel writing proficiency is lacking among college graduates. This is findings of an important survey. All right. So here's another activity for you. Look at these pictures and write down 3 adjectives to describe each picture. Not sentences, just adjectives. Yes. Let's start with the first picture. 3 adjectives. Is the first picture familiar? Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, obviously, first picture is so much rememberable.
Yes.
Like it's a beautiful place. I would say
Yes.
one of the finest we could have memorable. I would say
Yes. Huh.
and fun activities. I think or like enjoyable. I would say.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. What about this one where there are boats? Describe this.
Esteem organization. Esteem organization.
Hmm. Yes. Yes. Good word.
Also, college of national importance.
Yes. Good. And what about the other pictures?
Paradise, ma'am. Also for the beach. Beach.
Okay, great. Paradise is not an adjective. See, I said write 3 adjectives. So use adjectives. What are adjectives? Can someone come up with a definition or something? What are adjectives?
That define a quality or
Yes. So stick to adjectives when I'm sharing the pictures. Let's hear it from that perspective. Yeah. Hmm?
Ma'am, decent
beautiful,
place.
beautiful, peaceful.
Beautiful, peaceful. Yes.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Okay. Then
Serene.
serene, lovely, nice word. Then,
Tranquil.
wow, I think now we're getting the hang of it. So there are different types of words. When we are supposed to use adjectives, let's use adjectives. What about these other 2 pictures? See, it is so challenging to
And for the last
process.
one,
Yes, yes, Usman.
please continue speaking. I will speak after you, ma'am.
No, carry on, please. I
Ma'am,
want
I'm
all
just
of you to speak. I'm not here to speak. I want all of you to speak. I want all of you to participate so that your skills can be practiced. Yes.
I'm congested, boring,
Okay, great.
spacious.
Okay, nice.
Ma'am, would
Um,
aesthetic come in this category also? Ma'am?
which one?
Aesthetic one. Like such a lovely piece or such a static piece. Please.
Aesthetic is what you're saying, is it?
Aesthetic.
Spell it.
Aesthetic.
Is that an adjective?
Well, that defines noun, so we use for something that so soothing.
Right.
So
So then you can use that, right?
yes, ma'am.
Good. What about the domestic departures, please? Describe this.
These are like daily routines, so I don't know. The words are not on mind right now.
The words need to start coming whenever we need them, you know. This is why we need to practice. What does this picture say to you? Just three adjectives is all I'm saying. I want you to think about.
It's small,
Crowded, secure,
Yes, good.
Grand,
spacious.
tense,
advanced.
Something simple as clean, right? Even clean would be a good way to describe this. And the last picture, congested, and we heard some other adjectives also about it. Okay. So just look at this slide and then talk to me about it. Is something wrong here? Is this
Yes,
making
ma'am.
any
Right and
Yes,
right
ma'am.
have been used in two different sentences.
right? And just imagine if I was supposed to do this in an official setting and send this kind of wrong usage in writing to a client. Can you imagine what the impression that goes would be? Do you understand why I've done this? Now, your turn to write now. Does this convey the right information? The words we are speaking sound the same, but the spelling and the meaning is completely different. In due course of time, we'll come to those also. So I want you to tell me why are writing skills important? Since we don't have that kind of time, let's just talk about it. Give me 3 points why writing skills are important after all that we have covered so far.
They are needed from day-to-day life in our workplace. They represent how well we express ourselves.
Okay.
It helps us demonstrating our credibility and our competitiveness.
Yes. And what else? See, you know, this is all about when you go to the employer, how well armed are you? This is the whole idea. आपकी जो skill set है, are you ready for being given responsible assignments? That's the idea. So, why are writing skills important? I shared one list with you. I hope at least some of that will come back. Tell me, why are writing skills important? When you put a comma in the wrong place, what happens? Right? So the complete
Ma'am,
meaning.
ma'am, it is important so that the essence of message is not lost.
Yes, I think that's a very nice way of putting it. Tanya, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that the essence of the message is not lost, and we make sure what we want to say is being understood in the same context by the person to whom we are writing. Your turn to write now. If I was just to say this, maybe it would have been okay if I said it's your turn to write now. But since I'm writing it down, this error stands out very prominently. So written communication is a little bit more challenging because that information is visible and it's going to stay there. If you make an error when you're speaking, it passes off. So writing sentences is what we should focus on first. And I'm sure all of you are already doing those things. Writing effective paragraphs requires the inclusion of certain elements. Now, when you have already mastered how to frame sentences, the next step would be paragraphs, how to write effective paragraphs. So I'm giving you a minute. I hope that you attended that session which just happened, the Navy one. And I want you to write about the values he spoke about, which you would get if you joined the Navy. The values in the Navy. Write a paragraph. Did you attend that? Okay, I'll give you a choice. If you have any other topic in mind, write an effective paragraph, a short paragraph. Let me see how it looks. Or should I give you some topics maybe? Yes? It was a very beautiful session that was happening, and I happened to join in. And there were some core values that he spoke about: duty, honor, courage. Okay, I'll share this and then you write. Discipline, integrity, pride, patriotism, and leadership. Now write. Write a paragraph. And how do you write a paragraph? It has a topic sentence, then it has supporting sentences, and a concluding sentence. That's how sentences come together to make a paragraph. TEAM. You can remember this acronym: topic, sentence, evidence, analyze, and mix. So is anyone in a position to share a paragraph? And I would like you to switch on your videos and then talk so that I can at least see you. This is very difficult. Who's going to do this? A paragraph on the talk you just heard with reference to the values. Yes?
Ma'am, he addressed about getting a president's commission, ma'am. When
Okay. Okay, Siddhant,
yes, ma'am.
I appreciate that you came with a certain thought. But now that we have been talking about the importance of being concise and the importance of sticking to a structure which you have been asked to do, writing effective paragraphs means one topic sentence, supporting. So don't respond as if you're talking to me. I would like you to read out as if it is a paragraph.
Yes, ma'am. While I speak about the values in the Indian Navy, he gave us insights of all the opportunities which we as the students from undergraduation are availed in Indian Navy. That he suggested us to join Indian Navy for different ranks, like starting from the general army rank, then to the top position, that is the admiral rank.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for sharing. Have you written this down?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you read back?
Actually, I wrote one one sentence only, then I started speaking.
Okay, no problem. Okay, then we will probably not be able to process the sentences that you spoke, and that's okay. Let me give you an example. So this is a paragraph, a good paragraph, how it should be. The internet has become really important for three main reasons. So for the purpose that I suggested, you could write: the Navy imbibes three core values. First, second, and I was very impressed with how the gentleman was speaking. He had absolute clarity. He had very point-wise content. It was a good talk. I hope that those of you who attended will benefit from it. Read this. Just read this to yourself. Can one of you read it aloud, maybe? Otherwise? If you want to improve your speaking skills, practice. Read this aloud. कौन करेगा? सिद्धांत. Siddhant,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
आप पढ़िए. Just read this aloud for us.
Yes, ma'am. The internet has become really important for three main reasons. First, it enables people to access more information than ever before. That is, people can read books, newspapers, or magazines online and for free. Second, thanks to the internet, people can communicate with others in every part of the world via social networking websites like Facebook, WhatsApp, WeChat, Twitter, Skype, Fiverr, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Reddit, etc. Third, the internet is a perfect tool to study and get certificates from well-known top universities. In other words, now more than ever, anyone can do free online courses in a variety of subjects. In short, the internet is beyond doubt an essential and valuable tool nowadays.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So, thank you. Thank you, Siddhant, for reading it aloud for us. Now, look at what is given on the right hand side. The topic sentence was the internet has become really important for three main reasons. And as you can see very nicely, the first, second, third, and there is a comma. And Siddhant did a good job of reading the commas, as in by pausing, right? Then all the ideas used to support the topic sentence, what comes between the topic sentence and the concluding sentence. See, right now, this might seem like, where is this coming from? Why do I need to know how to write a paragraph? But try to understand when you are writing a report, it's got a limited um, number of words, let's say, maybe. You cannot write an endless thing. It has to be crisp. So every paragraph should have this kind of condensed information. Topic sentence, supporting sentences, and concluding. आपको ये सब चीज actually ideally practice करना चाहिए. When you go home, try to practice how to write a neat paragraph with lot of content in it, just like this one which we've seen here. So this would be in the topic sentence, the supporting sentences, and the concluding sentences. If you learn to write good sentences first, then progress on to writing good paragraphs. When you start writing good paragraphs, then practice writing good essays. I think this progression will be very good for you, those of you who are tuned in and listening and are willing learners, do this. Okay. So, I've already been doing a few sessions with you. Now I'm just going to show you this and I want one of you to explain. Any one of you who wants to explain what this slide is all about. Tanya, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can we ask you to do this? Explain this slide to us.
So this is about how to boil an egg, and it seems there are 6 steps. 5 steps, and one is the concluding sentence. And they have very briefly written what is the step 1, that is to get a pot big enough to hold one egg. Then similarly, step 2 is written. Then step 3, then we moved on to step 4. The thing is that they have written very briefly, which is good. Then step 5, and in the end, they have written the concluding sentence, that is, now the egg is ready to eat, enjoy it. And in the left side, it seems like a burger.
It seems like a burger, but it's an illustration of a good paragraph.
Yes, but the picture is of a burger.
That's because I want all of you to remember the paragraph. Every time you see a burger, remember.
So it's like picturization of
Right.
burger in order to show that the top part is the topic sentence, the bottom is the concluding sentence, and in between lots of other things are put in, so which shows that it has supporting sentence 1, 2, and 3, and we can also put more if required.
Yes. Yeah. So the idea is that this is a whole, by itself, it is a complete unit in the sense that if you just read this one paragraph, how to boil an egg would be absolutely clear to you. In your report, when you're writing the introduction, one brief paragraph, you're familiar with the idea of writing an abstract? Yes? Are you people familiar with the idea of writing an abstract if you are publishing a paper or if you're writing a paper, which is a condensed version of the entire report? Okay, so this picture is talking to us about how a paragraph has a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and a concluding sentence. This is how a good paragraph would look. If you had space only for 5 paragraphs in your report, every paragraph should have this kind of rich content so that the entire report has value addition with every paragraph. Okay. Your turn. Write a paragraph about either street food or music or about electric cars, and your time starts now. All right. Who's ready? Is there anyone who can share now?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Usman.
Yes, ma'am. I wrote a few lines about electric cars.
All right.
Electric cars are a huge step towards solving the global issue of excess fuel consumption. They not only provide decent alternative to fuel, but will also help in reducing the global carbon emissions, which as a whole is better for the Earth's environment.
Hmm.
This is how much I wrote in this time.
Okay. Usman, I think it's a great start. Congratulations, because you started off very well. And I think now we understand the challenge. हमको एक topic of our own choice में भी लिखने में कितनी मुश्किल हो रही है. Are you getting it? We need to practice a lot, and a paragraph would require at least 3 or 4 more sentences than what you've just said. So just add on to it what you've written. It's very nice. Good. Anyone else?
Yes, ma'am. I have written some sentences that a short paragraph on electric cars too.
Okay.
It starts with increasing number of people, the consumption of fuel will lead to scarcity. So hence we need to take a paradigm shift of towards clean energy powered electric vehicles. Hence, the concept of electric vehicles needs to be introduced in the society rather often than the fueled ones, and this will not only help in environment but also help the sustainable energy, sustainable environment.
Okay.
This much I will tell.
Okay, well done. Good job. Now I want Satyam and Usman to look at their own paragraphs and try to understand, is there a good topic sentence? And to all the others who have written, does your paragraph have a good topic sentence? Is there a good supporting sentence thereafter? And do you have a strong concluding sentence? Conclusion. Try to understand this. See, what we are doing is we are building block by block. हमने पहले sentences के बारे में discuss किया. Now we are discussing about paragraphs, which is sentences together. And now we are going to move on to essay, where there will be paragraphs together and make an essay. So what I'm trying to communicate here is this particular format of having a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and conclusion. It's very important for us to practice how to condense information like this. Which means when you're talking of electric cars, you will have to say, Usman, what was your first sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
आपका फर्स्ट सेंटेंस क्या था? टॉपिक सेंटेंस क्या था आपके पैराग्राफ का?
Ma'am, this person of electric cars are a huge step towards solving the global issue of excess fuel consumption.
Wonderful. This is a very good topic sentence. After this, if you have 2 or 3 supporting sentences, what would your concluding sentence be ideally?
Ma'am, my concluding sentence will ideally be that so as a whole, electric cars not only help in reducing the fuel consumption but also are better for the environment since they help in reducing the carbon emissions.
Right. So that would be like affirming what you said in your topic sentence and then concluding this particular paragraph. One idea packed into one paragraph, like that. All right. So I hope that the next time all of you eat burgers, you're going to remember the session and you're going to remember topic sentence, supporting sentence, and conclusion sentence.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I have written about the music.
Oh, welcome. Please, Bolye, Swapnil. Yes.
Yes. In the topic sentence, we can say music, the rhythm of soul, and in supporting sentences like the music is
I think, would it be good for you if I gave feedback right away? Swapnil, please read that again.
yes, ma'am. Music, the rhythm of soul, and the music is a soothing listening experiences. It invokes the inner happiness, advantages of the healing and some health issues, and also has no boundaries and confinements, and integrates all the cultures and different type of people.
Okay. Let me give you some honest feedback, Swapnil. What
Yes, ma'am.
you're trying to say is a good idea. Okay. But how you're saying it is not great.
Okay.
You need to choose, for example, if you want to talk about types of music or what is the purpose music serves, वो वाली clarity होनी चाहिए first of all. So what are you trying to talk about? Music is?
I just generalize. I didn't go into the specifics.
So this is the thing, we यही practice करना है हमको. हम general बात नहीं करने की practice करनी है. हमको practice करनी है अपने important ideas को condense करके कैसे present कर सकते हैं हम. So that nothing important gets missed out. For example, electric cars. If someone says that, okay, I want you to join my this thing, write and give me your proposal for an electric car and why we should build this. आपको इतना limited space मिलेगा अपनी बात बोलने के लिए. Within that space, you should be able to make an effective presentation, an effective case for what you want to do. So I think this would require a great deal of practice. But I'm very happy that Usman, Shubham, Amir, Satyam, Tanya, Siddhant are participating. Thank you very much. Again and again, I'm saying this. It's very challenging for us as faculty members also to be talking to a screen. We don't even see you. Anyway, so now what is an essay? An essay is a group of paragraphs that we've already talked about the paragraphs. So An essay is a group of paragraphs that support a single point. Introduction, a number of body paragraphs, and conclusion. So what is the main idea of the essay called? A thesis statement, and it appears in the introductory paragraph. Now you will understand the importance of every paragraph. The main idea of the essay is a thesis statement, and it should appear in the introductory paragraph. We don't have the time right now. Okay. Those of you who are interested, if you write an essay and share it with me, I will be happy to give you feedback. This is the best I can do, I think, given this limitation of time, etc. If you write a good essay and you want feedback, I will be happy to share the feedback with you. You can share your essays with me. Is that good with you? Okay. Choose a topic that appeals to you, write a good essay, and make sure that you're following all the instructions we are sharing here. So, three types of essays are models for professional writing forms: the narrative, the persuasive, and the expository. Please make sure that you are absolutely clear about these. The narrative essay is employed when reporting about an event or an incident, describing an experience, telling a story. For example, there may be a time when there is a meeting and you are asked to write down the minutes, for example. Now you have to keep track of whatever is happening in that meeting and then condense it. The persuasive essay is, for example, if you're a startup and you're trying to get some investment, maybe you would like to make a strong case, convince readers to agree with and to accept whatever proposal you have in mind. That would be the persuasive essay. Expository writing can take the form of a how-to manual or other form of instruction, such as an explanation of a process or like it's like onboarding, which the companies would do. They can send you a detail on that. So purpose, organization, evidence, and thesis. These are the components of an expository essay. What is the purpose? Why am I writing this? How do I intend to organize it? What is the evidence that I should incorporate? And of course, clear, straightforward idea. If you were to write an expository essay, your introduction would begin with the thesis statement and try and write something that would capture the attention of the readers. Anyone can come up with an example? Okay. Let's talk about why it is important that we explore the space. Why space exploration is important? Tell me. Tell me what you would write in the introduction. If you were supposed to make a strong case for exploring the space, what would be your thesis statement? Yes. See, don't be afraid to be wrong. You know, if you're thinking of something and not saying it, don't go there. Just speak. गलत भी हो गया तो क्या है? It's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, बोलिए.
Space exploration is one of the toughest things in science. We have to build huge machines and we have to challenge the laws of physics for that. And by doing that, we can invent there is a possibility of discovering new things, new planets, and also in that pursuit we can invent new things.
Wow. Shubham, I really like the fact that you corrected yourself when you said invent instead of discover, and then you said the right thing. See, this is really nice. For example, you're talking about space exploration and you can write only 3 paragraphs. You want to make a very strong case for being given a project or something, and you have only 3 paragraphs, one idea per paragraph. Just think about how much time it would take you to condense what is the evidence, what is the information, how should I make it appealing, how should I capture the attention. Now think of one particular thought, one particular idea, which would capture the attention of someone to whom you are writing this, submitting this.
Ma'am,
Tell
can I
me.
try?
Yeah, please try.
Yes, ma'am. So the introduction of the thesis statement would go like this: the chances of living out there in the space in the outer being is only possible when we trying to explore space more. The chances of aliens or what we so called the other species is only possible when we explore space more. So I would start with this.
Okay, great. So I suggest what you do is, Satyam, if you want to really build your writing skills, this session is only a spark, and I hope that at least some of you will take home some learning from here. Practice kariye. Go home. First of all, read pre-writing, collect a lot of information, condense that, then write. And I'll be very happy to give you feedback if you share your essay with me. So these essays require exploring an idea, evaluating evidence, elaborating the idea, main idea, and stating an argument in a coherent manner. You should be able to make it look coherent. It should make sense to the person who is reading it. So let me just move on to something which you're going to be more involved in later on. Purpose of professional writing. What are some of the reasons we write? To convey information, to encourage action, to instruct, to persuade, to inform, and to affirm shared goals. To convey information to readers within a workplace, to encourage action. For example, I have circulated a particular form and I'm looking forward to receiving feedback from your group. But so far, I've got a very weak response in the sense that very few people have responded to it. If I want to write an email to encourage action, one is to encourage action. People are not doing the timelines are being missed or whatever is happening on a certain project. So then to encourage action, then to instruct. For example, when you join the orientation program, the information they share with you, what you're supposed to do, that is instruction. To persuade, if there is a particular employee who's leaving the organization, let's say, and you want to convince them, or there is some kind of a proposal that you want to get through, approved, persuade. To inform, I'm going on leave, I want to inform, so this is another reason why you do that. And to affirm shared goals. So these are some of the ways. Please pay attention to this particular slide. It's very important. A job application letter template. How should you apply? How should you write? And always remember that your email is going to be the first impression that your prospective employer gets of you. So make it look good. To email of the company, obviously that is understood. Subject, don't make it vague. There should be absolute clarity. Application for XYZ position at whatever is the company. Then the message body should look like this. Salutation, dear, hello sir, madam, Mrs., Mr., whatever. This is the beginning. Begin by mentioning the job position you're applying for and where you found it. Express your interest in it. Give a brief introduction of yourself and your professional title or your educational background. Highlight your educational qualifications, your skill set. When you start writing this, you will realize how important it is that you are able to condense and use good sentences. provide details of your previous projects, etc. And then this is how you will conclude. Is this clear? Is there any question with reference to this? No? Okay. A heading, a salutation, body of the letter. In the first paragraph, you will mention the job you're applying for. Now understand the value of the paragraphs. First paragraph, mention the job. Next paragraph, the most important part of your letter. Remember how you gathered all that information about employers that employers were seeking and how you could meet their needs. You are supposed to, in this one paragraph, convey to the employer what is the skill set you bring and how it matches the job description. That's just one paragraph, you get to do that. The third and the last part of the letter will be your thank you, and the closing, the signing off, and your signatures. Right? So take a good look at this, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, when do we write yours sincerely and thanking you?
Okay, so thanking you is something that you should usually write in most situations when you have, let's say you applied for the job, that position, and you have sought some information, thanking you in anticipation. You know, if you say that, it encourages them to respond to whatever you sought, any information. So thanking you in anticipation is a good way to conclude. And yours sincerely, yours truly, best regards. These are some of the ways in which you can conclude. When, you know, it depends on where you're coming from. When you're still like students, that would be a good choice. Yours sincerely. Yours truly is also another one. Although these, yeah. Was that helpful? Tanya, who was asking this question?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
So, draft a clear, simple subject line, use a standard font, address your recipient formally, no emojis, etc. Use a CC and a blind carbon copy appropriately. Structure your message clearly. You cannot have too many paragraphs, remember, so make sure that the structure is right and your second paragraph has the crux of what you're trying to say. It depends on why you're writing this. If a call to action is required, for example, I look forward to hearing from you. And if you have a particular deadline or something, mention that. Include a professional closing, proofread your email carefully. There should not be any errors. So this is another example, a subject line, a formal greeting, clear and concise email body that reflects the purpose of your message. A CTA closing, that is call to action. I appreciate your time and look forward to hearing your thoughts on this matter. When you say this, the recipient is encouraged to respond. Okay. So take a good look at this. And I would encourage all of you with immediate effect to start practicing the writing process. Prepare, analyze, write, and then revise. Keep on doing this. You remember when we started off, you may say something and then realize, okay, there is an error. I need to correct this. So when you initially start writing, there will be a lot of corrections that you will have to make. There will be a lot of errors, spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, commas, etc. The punctuations. But with practice, you will realize that you're getting better and better at it. So I would suggest that make it a practice. At least try to write one paragraph every day. Think of a topic for an essay, write an essay. There are so many contests happening. You could write and submit your essay to any such places for practice. Understand the task, first of all, that is extremely important. Collect information, perform an analysis, form a tentative message, gather more evidence, structure and plan, write, draft and redraft, edit, and I would suggest you could show it to somebody else and ask them for feedback. Even that really helps. Okay. Business reports is another important area of professional communications. Sometimes the reports would be informational, sometimes they would be research reports, explanatory, analytical, progress reports. How are you doing, for example? So you would have to share responses to that. How would you write a progress report? This is one of the most important communications that keeps on happening in organizations. Step 1, state the purpose and overall status of the project. Write down the background information. Present the work schedule. Mark the task completed. Mention problems and questions. Provide additional details and sum up. This progress report is not something that you can only do later on. I think it would be a good idea even as students right now to set your own goals and write your own progress reports periodically and see how well are you doing. And it will not only help you to get practice on how to do this, you will also discover where time wasters are, what are some of the things that are not desirable, you need to stop doing them, etc. Goal setting. So, for example, from the time we started these sessions to now, is there any change in your communication patterns, any change in your communication skills? Are you becoming a better listener? Are you a more effective speaker? Do you feel more confident when you speak? You could write a progress report even on your own goals. So it quantifies work performed and completed in measurable terms. It compares with the established baseline to see if the project is on track. So these would be reports, project status reports, which you would be required to submit. I think the more you practice, the better you get. That is the mantra. Take a good look at this, and I would suggest you can actually practice. Even today, you could go home and practice an effective project status report on your own communication skills, for example. What has changed? Right? So submit the, yes, I think this is, we are going to talk about it in subsequent sessions, but I am really keen to know what is the value of time for batch 3. Do you finish your assignments on time? Do you have targets and do you achieve your targets? Anyone who wants to share how they treat time? If there is a deadline, if there is some kind of a project, are you always running late or are you submitting it on time?
Ma'am, I would like to say, ma'am, hello.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So basically, when there is a deadline, so we have to rush because we have to complete the assignments and projects on time. And
Yes.
if there isn't a deadline, then we are like okay, kar lenge isko. Like that sense comes, which is not good. Obviously I do realize that, but I don't know if deadline is not there. We aren't pressurized to do that work, and
So I
that
really appreciate
affects.
your honesty, Satyam.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
the idea that What is stopping you from setting your own goal? Why should we expect someone else to give us a deadline? Like, for example, if you're supposed to submit a project report on next Saturday, okay, the official submission date is next Saturday. What prevents you from deciding that this by Wednesday or Thursday my report should be complete? You know, my whole idea is when I speak to young people, particularly, become the pilots of your own life, become your own drivers. Don't wait for other people to come and tell you and to push you. You know, self motivation and self development, um, become the inspiration for your own self. That is the best kind of leadership, self leadership. Become your own leader. Don't keep waiting for someone to tell you. So if you start doing this in every aspect of your life, by the time you actually become capable of working for a company or something, these will become habits. Automatically you will be doing those things. So time management is an absolutely important thing. And the other thing is, I think integrity, there are so many different issues, but there are some that count more than the others. And when this work from home, I'm just going off track a little bit, but let me share this with you. People are working from home. Employers had a lot of questions in their minds about, are they really working or are they just, staying at home and having a good time? So there is an important dimension of trust that has come in. A lot of qualities that you bring to your work will become very prominent and highlighted in due course of time. So if you're an honest person, if you say the thing as it is, that works much better than making up a story. Emotional intelligence is another word that is commonly used for this kind of awareness, self and social both. All right. Submit your report on time. This is very important. Not now, start practicing from with immediate effect. Submit all the assignments you get. Submit your work on time. Um, Giving complete but inaccurate information is just as bad as giving accurate but incomplete information. So what does it mean? Give complete and accurate information. If you are lagging behind in your targets, write that you're lagging behind. That's what it means. Do not cover up bad news. That is also a part of the transparency factor. Be proud of whatever team accomplishments. Be willing to give credit to people who deserve it. Anticipate questions. Be prepared to answer them. Be familiar with the culture of the organization. When you go for job interviews, we are going to talk about this later. You're not there only to answer. You can also ask questions. So, try to understand the organization's culture and respect information hierarchy. Um, what is information hierarchy? For example, if there is certain information that the big boss wants to be submitted directly to him without being submitted to anybody else, that is what the idea is. Then it should only be given to him, submitted to him directly, not to anybody else. Information hierarchy. Craft the status report in such a way that there is no information overload. That would be a lot of practice, condensing information, making it crisp. Okay, this is another important, I hope, value addition. Outline of a project report. How would you submit one? So, title, author, abstract, introduction, content, conclusion, references, and appendices. This would be probably more familiar. Have you done any projects and submitted reports in the recent 3 or 4 years of your training with VNIT as students? Are you familiar with project reports? Is what I'm asking. Yes? Okay. So we're winding up the session. Effective email would include meaningful subject line, appropriate greeting, focus on purpose, to properly organize, proper spacing, appropriate language, appropriate tone. Don't write harsh, rude emails. It should be error free and always close politely. Attention, interest, action, desire, these aspects have to be kept in mind. Plan first, then write, and then revise. Whatever you write, make sure that you are the best critic. First, go through it again. You'll find many errors, correct them, and revise. It's important, and I like the electric car paragraph thing that we wrote, and also why it is important to go to space. Write something that will get the attention of the reader first. It could be news items, it could be some emotions, values, features, and benefits. It depends. This is a very creative space where you can explore. So, here we are. I want someone to summarize this session. Who's going to do this? Anybody?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to try.
Please try.
Yes, ma'am. So we started with the important of skills and how effective business communication is, and then we went on to an activity where we described the pictures in three sentences. Then we move on to the business writing and importance of business writings, and components of business writing were plan, write, and complete. And in plan there was analyze situation, gather info. Like these, some elements were there. And then we moved on to writing effective paragraphs, that the team formula that I wrote down. I will surely try that. The topic sentence, then evidence, then analyze, then mix. Then we have tried to write down some paragraphs also. Like I have tried on electric cars. Some of my batchmates or the attending sessions have also done that. Then we want to that combining the paragraphs, we can write effective essays which have the thesis. The essays which have three types, like the narrative essay, the persuasive essay, and the expository essay. Then we define the explanation of expository essay in deep. We studied that, the poet formula, and then we have also tried to write some thesis lines, that introductory line, then three good paragraphs, then concluding paragraph. These five elements are there to make a good essay. Then purpose of professional writing, six elements were there: to convey info, to encourage action, to instruct, to persuade, to inform, then to affirm shared goals. Then we move on to the job application letter, the structure of it, and then an example. And yes, ma'am, I have wrote down till that only.
Great. Thank you so much, Satyam. I'm so
Yes, ma'am, thank
glad
you so
that
much.
there is at least one person in the session who's paying attention. I don't know about the others. We see only 34 participants here today. Is there any feedback that you want to share? Yes. You know, I always wish that the students had a greater say in what we are doing in the class. And I would really like you to share your ideas with me. That's why I've circulated that form. So please feel free to share your ideas so that we can make the sessions more interactive, more interesting, and more useful for you. Anyone else other than Satyam? I see here Shiva. Are you there? Jitendra, are you there? Nidhi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Nidhi, tell me what is your takeaway from the session and give me some feedback.
It's already good.
What is your takeaway? What did you learn today, for example?
Uh,
You've muted yourself, Nidhi. Can you unmute yourself and speak?
yes, ma'am.
Please do.
Yes, ma'am. So we learned that how to write the business related reports or emails, um, and then writing the important points, writing the paragraphs by looking at the pictures. Um, that's all, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Um, Tanya, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So tell me something that we need to change so that participation is more.
I think, ma'am, the activity is really good. So we can maybe increase more of that because that doesn't seem to be boring
Hmm?
because we kind of involve ourselves.
Yeah. I know. I'm hoping that that happens. Okay. What else?
And videos, I mean, it puts more impact on us, maybe. I think more than the written stuff, videos are better.
Okay.
Otherwise, ma'am, it is really the whole uh, 2 hours. It was just great.
Thank you, Tanya. Now, here's what I want to say to all of you. The more you practice, the better you get. I'm not here to, come and speak to you and talk. I want to hear you speaking. I want you to participate. When I say write down and talk back, please do that. Otherwise, there is no point in talking about how a good paragraph should look if you don't even write it in practice. And I'm hoping at least some of you will get down to writing essays. Share them with me. I would like to see how you write. Okay. And I will be sharing some inputs with you subsequently. And I want you to look at a few apps that will be very useful. Some of you, I collected some data from you because I need to understand where the gaps are. Those of you who need to work on your grammar and English, basics of it, you can download one app which is okay, I'll share a link with the coordinators. This is the British Council. I'll share the link. I would suggest that you download, get it in your mobile and you can keep on practicing. There are a lot of quiz and tests, etc. given there. Language, the only way to improve is through practice. It looks a little tough, but once you start doing it, it's going to get better. So today we have concluded another one topic, which is writing skills. If you have any concerns about this, we can talk about it. But for all practical purposes, we have finished this topic today. The next time round, I'm going to talk about grammar, which is parts of speech, etc., which we are going to do tomorrow. All right. So thank you for being here, all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
the
ma'am.
Thank you,
session.
ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, give a score out of 10 to this session so that I can keep that in mind, what needs to change.
I'm 9 out of 10.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Give genuine feedback because if it was 9 out of 10, you would have had more participants. What are these people busy doing? I don't know. 31 is
Ma'am,
appalling.
I want to add something.
Please add.
Ma'am, I think if you include some games like activities in the sessions, then more people will participate.
So, Nidhi, if I see participation, then I can do that. But there is no participation. Even the small activities I'm doing, there is no participation. I would like to plan the whole session so that it is run by the students. But I don't even know if you people are going to be interested in doing that, because hardly anybody responds. So please encourage your friends. I like what you're saying. We are going to try and do that, incorporate more activities in subsequent sessions. But in the meantime, keep writing, keep practicing. The more you practice, the better you get. So take care, work hard. God bless you all.
Thank you, ma'am.